welcome to the podcast, Ellie.
Thanks, David. So good to be here.
Great to have you here. Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? Just the elevator pitch
I love that.
to get started.
Yeah, so born and bred Cantabrian, I would say. Born in Blenheim, actually, but call myself a Cantabrian. Always wanted to be an architect, so kind of worked my whole life up until the point of going to architecture school, studying architecture. Loved it. Worked in the field for about 5 years, and on the side started doing art and never thought it was going to be a viable career. But I ended up taking it full time, and now I tell people and businesses stories through these huge worlds that are essentially cross-section, architectural, medieval, a bit steampunky, black and white line illustration. And anything you can paint on or draw on, I'll give it a shot. So I've worked with some really cool brands like QT Hotel and Trade Me and Google, Reebok, to name a few. And it's wild, but it's a really cool space for me that I get to connect with people's stories and tell it through art.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I saw the elephant you did.
Yeah. So working with the charity Wild and Art and doing the Elmer elephant was epic. Very different drawing on an elephant than a flat surface. But
not an everyday kind of a gig.
No. But it was a really cool experience. And then even seeing them all go to auction, selling for thousands of dollars was awesome.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
do you know who got your one?
Yes. A construction company in Christchurch.
Yeah.
So it was, really, really awesome because it's in the office admin area.
Oh, wow, that's cool. And
Huge elephant.
And did they know you beforehand or?
They had seen my work and followed me, and then they, so what happens with the Wild and Art is businesses sponsor certain elephants, and so that they front up, I think, a cost to pay the artist an amount, and then they have the opportunity to bid freely. And because they'd sponsored, they thought they would bid, and they won.
Yeah, right.
They were fighting against another person at the time, but it was cool. It was very cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. How did you first get started on that particular style of art that is yours now?
So again, architectural base. So it came out of a long process of drawings through my architectural studies. Essentially, when you do a master's in architecture, you have to come up with your own project brief, and I did a series of drawings that were a part of that and entered it into a competition that was called the Parkin Prize, which is by a guy called Chris Parkin, and he's a very notorious big art collector in Wellington. And so he runs this prize every year, entered it, just one of those like, let's just see how we go. And I think my dad sponsored me the $40 entry fee because I was still really poor out of being a student. And it made it to the finalists. And then on opening night, it sold on opening night. And I was like, what is going on? I didn't even know what a red sticker meant. Like a red sticker, obviously, everyone, if they go to an art gallery, knows it means sold. And I was eating all the free canapes and drinking all the free wine and trying to figure out what this red sticker meant. And I cheekily went and asked the kind of facilitator who bought the artwork, which you're not apparently meant to do. And turns out Chris Parkin himself bought the artwork.
Wow.
So it was one of those kind of mind-blowing, wow, maybe this is something I could look at doing. Yeah. And didn't win any prizes, but I felt very chuffed that it had sold. And from there, I just decided to start kind of gradually selling to friends and family. And I had a few strangers that also saw my work and asked for commissions. And it was a very organic, kind of slow. That was 9 to 10 years ago now. So very slow burn at the beginning. But I was obviously working full time as well. So
yeah. And when did you jump out? About 5 years ago, did you say?
Yes. Yeah. So just after COVID, all came to head. Decided I said to myself, I'm very analytical about these kind of things. I said, okay, if I get booked out for 6 months, I'll allow myself to quit my job. I wanted to have a proof of concept, essentially.
For sure.
And so took the plunge, and we I went full time. I said to my boss at the time, I said, would you take me back if this doesn't work out? Just kind of putting all those fail safes in. You're just so nervous, when you've trained for something all your life and you think that that's where you're going to end up. You almost have this identity crisis of like, wait, I'm not an architect anymore. I work so hard for this. I'm this artist, which, again, has connotations of which I don't believe are true, but, it feels, it just meant that I could kind of, step away. So I had that 6 months worth of work booked in, and here we are 5 years later, and things have gone really well consistently, and I've been booked out.
Amazing. What's the current split of, say, like time, energy, not necessarily exact numbers or money, but like ratios between, like, say, retail, prints, custom, etc.?
Yeah, great question. At the moment, my commission work is most of my business. So I have probably, I would say 60% is commission work. People that kind of ask me to tell their story. And then I would say I have 30% that's my commercial work. So that's murals, working with brands to tell their story, marketing, anything like that. And then I've launched a course where I teach artists how to do business really well.
Yeah.
So that is another 10% to 15%, I would say, if we're working in that way. And prints are a very small part of my business. It's just the landscape's changed a lot in terms of the economy. Prints used to be amazing. You'd launch them on the spot. This is my own experience. Launch them on the spot and they'd sell 50 in a go. But at the moment, what I'm finding is that people just want that personal touch. Money's so much tighter,
Right?
which we all know. So when people are letting go of that cash, they want something that's just like ultra personal. So that's why my commissions still are going strong, in the business commercial side is going well. But prints may pick up. Around Christmas, it obviously always goes okay.
Yeah.
And retail, is a part of that as well. So I only sell in one store, which is Ballantyne's in Christchurch. And that was a whole nother story that I got in through a bring it to the boardroom is what they call it, very Shark Tank style situation.
I've heard about this, yeah.
Yeah, so I think they do it every 2 years, and you pitch your product to them, Shark Tank style, and they decide, I guess, for finalists and whether your product needs a boost or would be good in their store. And I ended up winning it one year, which was very, very cool and very out of the blue. I didn't think art would be a product that potentially would be up for winning. But again, it's one of these situations of just time and time again, it's teaching me just give it a go. You just never know what.
Just ask, yeah.
100%. And so that provided me with the prize was I got to stock with them for a whole year and retain every profit. So there was no wholesale relationship.
Oh, wow.
And they would push me in terms of media. I would get mentoring.
Wow.
And then I stock with them as a wholesaler.
Yeah.
So we have an ongoing relationship. It's just been incredible.
Wow.
So,
That's
very cool.
That's a great prize.
Great prize.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's awesome for small businesses, especially ones who are established and, I'm not talking about myself necessarily, but have a great product range that is really beautifully set up. It's got great packaging, like all the stuff's there. They just kind of need that
Distribution.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
because online is one thing, but physical in store, it's just totally different, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think for me, I'm quite calculated about the type of stores that I'm in. I'm probably on the higher end of the price range of prints and things. So I had to recognize, okay, well, actually putting myself in other stores that want prints around the $30 mark, it's just not going to work.
No,
there's actually no point me forcing that. Yeah. So going to where my demographic is turns out to be Ballantyne's, and it's great.
It must be quite a hard thing to price prints.
Yeah, prints are probably the easier side than other quotes.
You know what I mean, though, right? Yeah. Like, do you position high and go for less volume, or do you go for not low or a bit more mid?
Yeah. And I think my decision around that was I always wanted to bring quality. So it wasn't necessarily restricting the amount. I was like, I always want it to be limited. So, I do believe that for artists, especially when we're selling, having an exclusivity about it. People want to feel special, and it's not about being elite. It's about feeling like, oh, they've got this like one of a kind type thing, or one of 100, if it's a print. And then providing, just really high quality prints that are going to last 100 plus years, archival type quality was really important to me. And that meant that, when I positioned it at that top range, people who still like the art that would have bought that $30 artwork definitely still save up and buy for those ones. It's just, I think I don't know, it psychologically targets the people that are collectors. That again, it funnels it into kind of that ecosystem, which is I also think is really important, is how we're creating businesses that are an ecosystem that are driving not only word of mouth, but that person who buys to your next service, to your next service, to your next one.
Yeah,
so
I love that.
Trying to look at how that works together.
I'm huge on that. I love the concept of an ecosystem, and I guess Apple are kind of the king of it, right? In terms of technology infrastructure, but like for me, it's the podcast, right? It's this, it's the co-working, it's the coaching, and I love the idea of all networking it all together, and I guess also having different price points, different entry points. You know, it's
and different. Like, I think as well when you you provide a good service all around, and you've got your value set, your brand, everything already ready to go, you may as well capitalize off that one big beast and use it rather than just having the one kind of avenue. And I think if you're giving a good service, people want to use you in other ways as well.
Absolutely.
We may as well answer that need.
100%. Yeah. So like finding your tribe sort of thing, isn't it? Like finding your brand, or, like that sort of community element to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Are the prints numbered? Yep.
Yes. I do have a very small, when I was very early days, I have an open edition. It's like an A5, so very small size that are more stocking stuffers, I guess, around but again, they're small and they're still $55. So when you think of that, it's still a higher end, smaller product, which, but all my numbered ones have, certificates of authenticity.
Wow.
They come in great packaging. I've made sure that, I've got custom tissue paper and all of the notes and the instructions on how to frame it. And all of that's really important to me, that this person feels like, they've bought a print that might not be my top service, but that they still feel like they're getting that touch point of specialness. And it's really important to me that the unveiling of each of my services or products is done well, that people feel kind of like, I don't know really how to put it into words.
No,
but
I understand what you're saying.
Feeling.
There's some emotional attachment.
Totally.
Yeah, I love that.
Hey, quick interruption. When I'm not podcasting, I'm working on growing out and working with clients as my main role as a business coach. Right now, I'm looking to meet more fellow business owners. The reason is simple. The more people I know, the more value I can bring, whether it's through coaching, the podcast, or just connecting good people. If you're based in Christchurch, let's grab a coffee. If you're further afield, let's jump on a call. Now, let's get back to the episode.
You can immediately double your prices if you actually have great packaging, because you are making... Not tricking people, but you're actually making people feel something when they're opening those things. So
100%.
Yeah.
It's like you read my mind. I was just thinking of Yeti in that, like that is one product, but then like, the other options, right? Like there's a gazillion options that are cheaper, but yet they've solidified themselves as a brand that resonates with quality. It'll appeal to a certain audience, and the product's almost secondary, right?
Definitely, and I think it makes you as a business and your products more reliable, and I tend to wonder if it creates that longevity as well. You're playing this long game versus
the transactional.
Yes, and how can I get out 1,000 units at $20? Sure, you might earn heaps, go viral, all that stuff in the first 2 years, but are you creating a legacy of people that are going to follow you, talk about you, and talk about you to the right people as well? It's the key.
Yeah. One thing I was going to talk to you about was putting out content, like making content on a regular basis. That's originally how I first came across you, was through Mac Dewar. Shout out to Mac.
Shout out Mac.
And so that was probably 4, maybe even 5 years ago, like a while.
It was.
And yet here we are, right? I've just been sort of observing in the background, and then saw the Valentine's thing, and then as I said to you, it's on my goal list, right? To get the custom thing at some point. And so it's just funny how that can take such a long time to manifest into something.
Absolutely. And I think, you're proof of it, but it's not just that. I mean, I did a masterclass this last week, actually just a free one, to, again, teach artists some business tips and things I'm learning. But one of the biggest things is actually making sure that when you're kind of pitching yourself, you're actually putting yourself just in the right positions at all moments. You're reaching out to the right people as well. And I feel like so many people are missing that mark. And the long game, as you speak, 4 years on, you're contacting me, but I'm pitching to companies twice a day now, so that in a year, those companies come to me. So it's like, and it's a really hard one, because you're sitting there, you're like, I'm putting in this work and I'm getting nothing back.
Yeah.
Or you might get a small response, but their problems might not exist yet. They will in a year, and they'll have you in the front of mind. And I talk a lot about flirting with businesses and doing it in a way that means that you're engaging with them constantly, so that, because you're a big fan, genuinely, but that actually, and so that by the time they're ready for you, they're like, she's the person.
Totally.
And I've done it without the intention of be like, buy my stuff, hire me. Yes, there's an element of that, but also I think that there's this exchange that they can recognize, and
100%.
so it's positioning yourself for future you, and that's that long game. And man, it's rough, but it works out. It really does. I'm here.
I think so.
Time later.
Yeah, it pivots nicely into me flirting with a Reaper. So we've been having these for a few months now on the podcast. They are a product that I do buy.
Yeah, nice.
And I quite like it. I don't really buy a lot of cold beverages. It's just not my thing.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah, I probably would
do.
say I do, but not sugary. So I'm like usually a sugar-free gal. But I love it. Love some chocolate. Don't get me wrong. But for drinks, usually just sugar-free Coke, I guess, is.
That's your go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were saying you haven't had a Reaper before. Okay, so
Bring it on.
we can do a live product testing here. I just like having a bit of fun, right? And so with this product, it's a New Zealand business. It was founded, I think the founder potentially is from Christchurch as well. I could be wrong on that, but I like it. It's good.
Give you a little boost, does it?
Yeah, a little bit of a boost, and be warned, it's quite intense. It's not like not watery.
Yeah, it is quite intense. Nice.
So yeah, there's a couple of different flavors. This is the performance one.
I feel like it's the kind of flavor that makes you feel already like it's working.
Like it sort of hits you, right? It sort of snaps you out of.
Okay, we're not playing around.
Yeah, we are on.
Yeah. I actually have just started in the last few months taking, this is not a sponsorship thing, but Nutrient Rescue. Have you heard of them?
It could be.
No? Okay, so they're like a...
No, I have heard of
Oh, you have? Yeah. Anyway, and I've been taking some of that, and that's been awesome. But again, that's that intense flavour that you're like, this is definitely doing something straight away.
Yeah. Is that the one that you drink?
It's like a little shot.
Yeah.
So it's a double shot of, it's all veggies and like berries and stuff, and you shake it up in a little shaker.
Yeah.
Into a shot.
Quite a distinct taste, right?
Very distinct taste. Yeah. Not gross. No, it's not yuck, but it's just intense because it's high veggie content.
Yeah. I think Emily had it for a while, and yeah.
But you feel like it's working, so I'm good with it.
It's got to be good.
Got to be good.
Yeah. And tell us about the education side of it.
Yeah.
So did you say it's a course, or is it coaching, or a bit of both? Or
both. So it's a 6-week mentorship program, but I've created 6 online modules that they work through. So essentially for 6 weeks, I join at the hip with them, and we work through everything that's really specific to their creative business. Because I get a lot of artists, obviously, from the spectrum of experience, but also types. So you've got watercolor artists, live illustrators, digital, ink artists, whatever. So it's making sure that what their drivers are, I'm kind of answering, and also telling them the real honest opinion of what's going to make them money and what's not. But so we work through a lot of one-on-one time. We audit everything in their business, make sure it's really set up again for this long game. But in the immediate future, we work through like your bread and butter. Okay, what's the thing that's actually going to bring in constant sales? It's going to bring a hype around your business. People are going to be drawn to you, et cetera, et cetera. And then from there, looking at other avenues that they can diversify to that will also bring them joy, because, you know, we're in this game because we love it, but also help kind of diversify that ecosystem a little bit as well. So yeah, so it's online, completely online. We do Zoom sessions every week. I do one-on-one sessions with them. They're in my DMs. We voice note most days for that 6 weeks.
Love it.
And they leave feeling just a whole kind of different frame of confidence. The biggest thing as artists that's really challenging is the pricing. It's positioning yourself as a brand so that people see you as professional and want to pay you well. And obviously digital marketing is a huge game changer. If you aren't learning it, I feel like as an artist, it's really hard to make it at the moment. So yeah, that's all the things I teach.
Very cool. And are they typically at the stage of, like, are they typically in a, like, say, a traditional career and they're looking to exit and go full time, or are they more full time artists that are just looking to optimize, or a bit of everything?
Kind of a bit of everything. The target demographic is, well, the most people actually that I do get are working a full time job and they want to make art or their creative sphere their full time gig. I have had artists that have been in the game for a while and things have dried up or circumstances have changed, whether they've become a parent or, you know, change of location, etc. And so it's refreshing them in that space. And I've had even a few that are like, I am early days. I want this to be my career and I want to skip all that mess in the middle.
Yes.
And I'm like, I am your person, because
Gotcha.
I have done that mess myself.
Yeah.
And I think I understand all of those spectrums, especially the one that's like, okay, when you have to weigh up, okay, I've got potentially a little bit of cash, but I don't have any time. Okay, I'm going to throw some cash at the problem. Some people have time, but they don't have cash. And so they have that time to work through those messy stages themselves.
Yeah.
Each is fine. But I really respect that people are like, okay, let's head down, ass up and do this.
Yeah.
And tell me what not to muck around with, which I think we just muck around with so much because we're trying to
People
guess.
tend to, yeah.
Which is fine. You know, we all have to find our way. But I would have loved to have been in a position to possibly get help earlier. And I just recently, last year I hired a business mentor, and that was pretty invaluable in me even creating this course. So I did that for a year, and now I'm out on my own again.
Love that.
It's been great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real hot topic for me at the moment, just with regards to, I guess, people not doing the thing, which means if you really look in the mirror in the morning and like, okay, what do I actually need to do today? What's actually going to move things forward?
Yeah.
You can figure that out, right? I believe anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
If you really are honest with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
if you write a list and you do that 3 to 5 things every day,
Yeah.
if you do that for a long amount of time, I think you'll probably stand a pretty good chance of getting to where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the barrier, I feel, is that despite knowing that, and I'm guilty of this, right? Like I do this myself, and not many days I get to the full list, right? Because they are inherently the things that you don't want to do for whatever reason. So whether it's uncomfortable or it's, you know, got friction of some sort, or it could lead to rejection, or
Totally. Or even, I mean, you know, we're at a different position possibly now, but sometimes, especially these amazing humans that are earlier on in their journey, they don't even know sometimes those things that should be on the list. Do you know what I mean? And so
possibly, yeah.
From what I've found is that I think because there's so much free advice out there, which is wonderful, but that gives you so much that it's quite overwhelming, and it just feels like, shivers, what do I start with? Versus, you know, we've been in the game for a little bit, so we can condense, okay, maybe we'll try this. So that's something that's really valuable, I think, with having someone that's been there, just to kind of be like, okay, here's your list of all the things that you think you should do. Let's not do those and let's do that.
Yeah, I do love that. Yeah, I overlay it with fitness, for example. There's so many similarities between health, fitness, business, money. And so like a lot of people, I've struggled, I guess, because again, there is so much information. And so more from the health and fitness side of things, for years I've been trying to, lose body fat, put on muscle mass, right? And then because of so much conflicting information, I'm like, okay, do I go keto, vegan? Like, what do I do?
Exactly.
Right. And then so you're right. So maybe I do retract what I said earlier.
It's okay. You're allowed to think what you think.
And therefore, like working with a PT that has given a very clear roadmap. Here's what you need to do. I'm gonna walk you through this. Like I'm here, but we're gonna make this so simple, and so straightforward that you will not fail if you just do the thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Like someone that's been there, and I think that different. We're all so different, right? So even in terms of fitness, someone that not only understands your goal but potentially looks at the medical makeup of your body and being like, okay, well, that person that went keto or paleo or whatever, that works for them because of their body type. Well, I don't know. But, having someone that understands the whole makeup of you in that instance makes so much more sense versus you kind of going, okay, I'm looking at all of these different body types and they're following these things. Yeah.
And the psychology too, right? Like that's been the biggest thing is that when we first sort of kicked off, it was like, all right, you're going to have to track these calories. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I've tried it. It's just not going to work. Like I've just got other priorities. It's like, it's a deal breaker. You've got to do it. You've just got to do it. Like, let's make it so easy that you can't fail. So let's limit the amount of meals and snacks and things that you're having to input, which makes it easier. And then you're just going to have to do it. That's not
the hard word. But that's the thing. Sometimes I think to also grow, and this is maybe controversial, but we need to do a lot of uncomfortable things, a lot of things that we don't want to do, and a lot of things that not anyone else is doing, which is why there's fewer in that top echelon.
Absolutely agree.
Than anywhere else. And so we need to face the facts of like,
I couldn't agree more. And that's sort of what I was getting at with those 3 to 5 things. It's often the things that you just don't want to do. And like tonight's a great example. Got invited to this event. It's kind of like a gala, like a black tie thing, like all inclusive, like really cool, right? So what's going to be at the event? Booze and food.
Yeah.
2 of my favorite things that aren't on the list. So just talking with Hamish this morning, I'm like, hey, this event tonight, like, there's going to be a lot of temptations there. And it's like, well, if you want to get what you're talking about, you're just going to have some different behavior.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Hamish.
You need to put some Arepa in a flask or something.
Sparkling waters. But where it led to is like, okay, I feel like my level of self-control is quite high. However, let's raise the stakes. So this is what I've been doing a little bit lately to get those things done. Is I've been like, all right, well, if I fail, it's $1,000.
Nice. Where do you put that $1,000?
To him.
Damn.
But I've never,
lucky man.
But I haven't failed because I don't want to spend $1,000.
Yeah, totally.
And sort of going back to what we were saying before recording, right, about it all being a game.
Yeah.
It's all these levers that you can pull, and for me, fear of loss, fear of money is like. That's one of them. So
100%. And if you know how you work to that model, and it sometimes surprises you. I think we just need to test ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
And see what we're capable of. And that's it. Is like, especially in the entrepreneurship field, is like there's lots of people that don't or have this great idea, just don't believe in themselves. And that sounds so cheesy, but honestly, if we're surrounding ourselves with the right people who are also in that same position or sphere, and you can only go with that momentum.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's the beautiful thing is sometimes you're like, okay, actually stop talking to your family. I'm not saying that, but like choose who you're talking to about certain things because, like even when I quit my job, I was very specific about who I told at what time and and that was just a protecting over like, I'm making this huge decision for myself and for my business, and I know it's the right one. I know that other people will have opinions and they're not going to be helpful. And I don't know. Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Being disciplined almost about who you confide in and what advice you get is really particular. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. We're talking about the value of like co-working spaces and just having other entrepreneurs, business owners around you.
Definitely.
And how cool that is, right?
Yeah.
I think of like with, where we are at the loft, and how if it wasn't for the co-working space, it would just be, the two of us currently in the business, third coming. But like that's a totally different dynamic than, 40, 50-ish people around, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel the surge, I think, when you're all around each other, even if you're in different businesses.
Totally, right?
It's this kind of, that person's succeeding. Oh, awesome. I can too. Or if that person's really struggling, get around them and be like, okay, what are we
Absolutely.
quoting up today? Like, how are you reaching out? Challenging each other and
Absolutely.
egging each other on. I guess
Yeah.
is really important.
Yeah, a bit of spontaneity, right? Like
Yeah.
a bit of a boost up at times, and
Definitely.
yeah, random chat at others, It's so valuable, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you consciously, or not consciously, but what about like that theory of like the 5 people you hang around with? Do you pay much attention to that or believe in that in terms of whether it is, friends, families, colleagues, co-workers, suppliers, partners, customers, etc.?
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. I think as I've gotten older, it's been a little bit more unconscious of, I would say I have a very strong gut feel. So if something or someone doesn't feel like they align with what that 5 people should or would look like, naturally I move away. Not, that sounds really aggressive, but, like naturally I think it happens that parting, that moves away because you don't feel as many things in common.
Yes.
And especially when you're an entrepreneur as well, like your time is so precious. And so more and more I'm like, okay, how am I spending my time? And I really want deep relationships with people. I'm not really about the surface level chat. So, okay, those people I want to have deep relationships with and are willing to go deep with me, I keep them around. And if we're surface level, it's okay to just not be flourishing in those relationships, I guess.
Absolutely.
But yeah, in terms of around business, I think I make it a point to meet up with certain business owners to try and speak in those ways and encourage each other, and people that are driven to not always necessarily be like, oh, I want more. It's like, okay, well, how are we growing in the spaces that we love? And it's a very unique thing to love what you do. I think that's one thing that's hit me recently is so many people hate their job.
Yeah.
So many. And it's a real blessing to love your job. Like lots of people don't.
It really is, isn't it?
How we kind of sitting in that space and also just using what we've got, I guess.
Yeah, that is an interesting one, isn't it? Sad to think that most people potentially don't love their job, and it is a matter of clocking in and clocking out. Like,
yeah, because what do you think about the 5? Do you have a quite a strict type of?
I'm pretty mindful of it, like I'm pretty aware, and I kind of see it as a I guess I'm just a super curious person. That's like my weird thing. I don't know where it comes from or why, but I am. I'm just curious. And like you say, I don't love surface level conversations about the weekend. So I'd much rather, focus on more interesting conversations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do pay a lot of attention to it. And I typically find myself not moving through friendships and connections, but kind of, right? Like I do find myself constantly, spending more time with new people and just constantly moving, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Versus like the opposite, like a lot of people are friends with their friends from high school.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't really have that. I don't really have a lot of people that have,
I think that's okay though. Like, I mean,
it's totally okay.
Yeah, I feel like
more than okay.
It's that whole thing of how they say that in your life, you almost live 3 different lifetimes. And that sounds very dramatic, but it's, like even when you're, say, with a partner or something, if you get married or if you're with that partner for a long time, you change so much over time. You can't expect to stay the same. And so naturally your friendships make sense that they would kind of develop or change with that, as well as your business, as well as your relationship, and learning, if you're with someone long term, like learning how to adapt and accept those changes as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what's the theory on 3 lifetimes? What does that look like?
Gosh.
Not sure.
It came out of, must have been a podcast I was listening to. Can't even tell you which one, but it was just about when you're in a long-term, it was about relationships, that you can't expect your partner to stay the same for that 60 years, let's say, that you're together, and that as you live those 3 different lifetimes, or you're naturally going to change and adapt and have different ideals or different things you think about the world, and how you grow and adapt together and accept those things rather than fighting, oh, you're not the person I married, or you're not the person I got together with in the beginning. So learning what that looks like to kind of mold around each other. That was kind of the theory.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Yeah.
There's heaps of variants on it too. Like I've heard one for like 7-year cycles.
Yeah.
And not necessarily with regards to relationships, but just like stages. And then there's that poem. I don't know if you've heard The Reason a Season a Lifetime.
Vaguely rings a bell.
It's quite good. It's quite it's really good actually. I'll show it to you after, but it's
I have heard the 7-year thing though. That, the cycles.
The reason a season a lifetime, it's just what you would expect, right? Like some things are going to be around for a lifetime, some things are seasonal, and some things just come in and out like for a specific reason. It's really cool overlay, right?
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting one because, I mean, I would classify myself as someone that doesn't deal with change very well. There's a lot of people I don't think that deal with change well. Some people are very adaptable, but in that sense, it is like, okay, how are we sitting and not expecting life to just be the same forever? Which is what you ultimately want it to be dynamic and fun and exciting. But that's just something I think, I need to grow in a little bit more of, how am I
what kind of change do you mean? Like what would be an example? Does anything come to mind that?
I think I moved around a lot as a kid. And so I think for me, it then projected me into a world where I like predictability. I like to map out all of the things to try and make sure the outcome's going to be what I expect, really. And so in lots of situations, my husband will say, if dinner plans change, it just it just throws me a little bit. Like I'm fine, but just like, oh, okay, I need to readjust that. And that sounds ridiculous, but
no, I can relate to that.
I think that, when you are someone that loves to know what that outcome or the expectation possibly is going to be, you kind of set yourself up for it. You either get excited or you get ready or you get, you prepare.
I hear you.
So anyway, that's kind of the situation I mean is like, and so I find it funny in business when things don't turn out how you expect, or you've done all the quote unquote right things to get to that outcome and the outcome doesn't happen. That can be really challenging because you're like, wait, but all the people told me that this would equal this. Yes. It doesn't. But often it's then assessing and going, okay, well, what's the economy doing? Okay, what's my customer doing? Do they actually like that thing anymore? Is my product not as good? What's changed there? I don't know. So it's just interesting.
The silver lining thing's quite interesting in that, like when something bad happened. You know that story, like the maybe good, maybe bad story? The guy with the horse falls off the horse, breaks his leg.
No.
Maybe good, maybe bad.
Okay, no. Sounds great.
I'm going to butcher it, but basically this guy like finds a horse one day and then he's like, everyone's like, oh my God, that's amazing. You got a free horse. This is like back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And then he falls off the horse, breaks his leg. Everyone's like, oh no, you broke your leg. He's like, maybe good, maybe bad. Then like a war happens and everyone's like conscripted to go to war.
True.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, you've got a broken leg so you can't go to war. That's amazing. He's like, maybe good, maybe bad, right? And so it's just like the story just keeps on going, right? And it's like, well, everything happens for a reason, and it may be bad at the time, but often, maybe even always, it is for a reason, or there's something that will come out of it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, even I bet you can say as well, when you look back on all the roles you've had or the jobs you've had or things you've experienced, whatever happens at the time, whether it's good or bad, you're sitting here now going, okay, that helped me here, that helped me here, that's informed how I do things here. Like, and you never want to go through hard times, but at the same time, it's like it's preparing you for what's next. And I just look at some of the harder times in my corporate world and I'm like, man, the things I've learned there is key in how I run my creative business now, and why I think I've potentially lasted longer than a lot of other artists is because I learned a lot from the corporate world that I can bring in and amalgamate together.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
So
yeah, I mean, art is like a notoriously difficult thing to master, right? As a career, it's like it's even got its own cliche, right? Like
totally.
The starving artist thing.
Yeah.
So I think it makes a lot of sense that you're able to help and work with other artists. Like that's really cool.
Yeah, it feels, I mean, it's really fulfilling.
Yeah.
So, but the other hard thing is getting through to the artist that they need to invest in themselves and that it's going to be worth it. That's the challenge. Because always in hindsight afterwards, they're like, this was the best thing ever.
Yes.
Invaluable and has changed the trajectory. But, you know, we all know that before you take that risk, before you spend that money or whatever, you don't know what the outcome's going to be. So it is always scary. So, yeah. But
what about the future? What are some predictions or things that you're working on? Or if we were to sit down in a year's time, what would you imagine will have happened, or what would you like to have seen happen? Quite like this. We've had a few guests, and I've got one coming on shortly who's been like 4 episodes in.
oh yeah,
And so it's almost like a chronological
that's awesome.
time capsule type situation.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get more into my commercial space. I think there's so much more to do with creative briefs that businesses themselves maybe don't see the benefit in outright, especially when working with artists or creatives. It's really interesting when you see people like Whitaker's or like even Nike and some of those bigger conglomerates working with artists, specifically with blunt umbrellas, all of those, the campaigns really go well. And it's cool because it's so hyper unique. And I think that that's where having a really specific style can be really, really great, and also great for the bottom line as well. But I guess all that, I would love to be more in the commercial space, more working with huge murals, telling companies stories. I think there's a lot of companies that have gone through a lot to get to where they are, and it's pretty damn cool hearing the full story. You never get to hear the full story. So what's really special is when I've worked with even the likes of Pegasus Health. So they had their 30 years, and I worked with Wellington City Mission and Wellington NZ and even Nutrient Rescue recently, actually. And we're celebrating these huge milestones that no one knows of how they got there.
Wow.
But it brings together their whole brand and a real big appreciation that I think anyone can understand. And that's the beauty. I know it sounds cheesy, but that's the beauty of art is, for the most part, people can look at it and you can speak all different kinds of languages, but you can all understand the story that's going on. You can all see it and see something different in it, which is really, really cool. So,
wow, that is very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Bring on the commercial
So
space.
more commercial, yeah.
Just like, yeah, it's exciting for me because it's the briefs are more challenging.
Yeah,
I'm working with a lot of people's opinions, which is cool and not cool.
Yeah.
But I think doing things on grand scales is just amazing. As an artist, it's really fun to see your work large and people engaging with it.
That is cool. Like, what a secret sort of weapon, right? Like, if you think of a spectrum, so if you think of like a business, a corporate that's very vanilla, stale, plain, zero personality, and then you think of someone that embraces it and uses it as like a point of difference, a way to bring people together, like a point of it's just got so many different dimensions, right?
Definitely. And I always say to businesses that I'm working with, it's more than just like, okay, we did this thing and then that led to investment and then that led to this decision and we developed this product. It's like, okay, well, who's the Joker Harry that comes along every day and like brings you your coffee and has a laugh and wears a funny hat? Like, honestly, getting these things in that are fundamental to making the culture great, the story great, adds to the environment, and it's again things people would never know about. So
yes,
it's bringing kind of these deep stories to the surface that otherwise people would just have no idea go on. So. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like good ROI, right? Like, we're not probably talking millions and millions of dollars here. And so if you look at the size of a listed company, for example, and they can interject some personality art into it, sounds like a no-brainer.
Yeah. I mean, and look, again, chucking things out into the world, I recently tried to pitch, I'd love to do some stuff in the corporate boxes of the new stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Because how good to get if you're a sponsor, you own or have a corporate box, that while you're schmoozing, you have something on the wall that tells you a whole complete story, that people are there for 3-4 hours. You have talking points, you have selling points, you have laughter. It brings a real joy and like awe. I think that's the cool thing, is like people are just drawn into it, which is really exciting.
Amazing.
So anyway, that's my my little pitch at the moment. So that'd be pretty cool.
I have a connection. We'll talk about that after.
Wonderful.
The other thing I was going to say, back to Blunt quickly. So their website is insane.
Yeah.
Like
but their marketing's insane. Did you see the one they did with Snoop Dogg?
No.
Well, because of Blunt, right?
Oh.
And they did this marketing video series of like, you know, the umbrellas like smoking. And it was just, it was so cool. I mean, again, it hit a very different demographic and reach, but it was classic, got shared so much.
Wow.
And it was being ready to embrace the surprising, the fun, the different. I don't know. It was great. Yes, the website's great.
That's cool. I mean, that's a bit like one of the podcast supporters, Tom from White Fox. So have you seen the White Fox real estate videos?
Oh, yes, a few of those. Yeah.
So they stand out, right?
Yeah,
And that's what happens when you...
Especially when there's so many of them out there.
Yeah, but when you couple like creative direction, man, like what a different outcome, right?
Yeah. And again, that's the whole thing, is like, how are you turning something that's done a lot? How are you bringing your unique spin on it from potentially either your past roles or your own loves or whatever, and making that a unique thing? Because you can't just keep going out and giving the same stuff out. You know, it has to have a different spin on it.
Absolutely.
Unless you're providing a very cheap service. Then sometimes that sells. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't go into that because I'm not into that. But
No. Well, you know, as the saying goes, like it's hard to out Amazon, right? You know, and it's just...
But that's where you just have to be so intrinsically authentic to your values and your brand that people are like, there's no one else I think of other than this person. Like I actually quite enjoy listening to Daniel Priestley. Do you know?
Oh, he's great. He's amazing.
Quite enjoy listening to him.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously positioning yourself as a person of influence. It's just like, I just loved that revelation of how am I positioning myself in so many ways that when someone thinks they need a mural, they exactly think of my name. And again, it's hard in New Zealand because we've got this tall poppy thing, and it's not being like, I'm cocky, I'm the first one I want you to think of. It's like, I've positioned my business as the top service that you need. I'm the answer to your problem.
Yes.
Think of me first. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like we were saying on the phone the other day, how the beautiful thing is that it's a perpetual motion machine, and that the more content, the more pieces out there, the more work that you've done, more people seeing it.
Exactly.
So that's cool.
And he also talks about how, you know, you almost need at least five touch points touching that person before they engage at the next step, whether that engagement is a comment or more. But, you know, you just think, I mean, even for example, yourself, like 4 years down the track, how much pieces of content have you seen?
Totally.
That then you go and touch, and that's nothing on you. That's just how the ecosystem works.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we aren't putting stuff out there, you can't expect to be
going
anywhere.
And that's the thing with marketing, isn't it? Like, you know, if you're operating in obscurity and you've got the most amazing thing, but if no one knows about it, it's sort of a non-goer, right? That's that.
Which is really sad, because there's a whole lot of great things and great people out there, but they're just not equipped with the right way to get it there.
I know, and I think one reason for that is that it is very rare to have someone that's, I guess, ticking all these boxes that are required. You know, like they are commercially savvy, they're sales capable, they're artistic or creative enough to come up with something, right? To come up with the widget. And so it's like having all these different skill sets that are all very opposing, right? And then like the analytical nature to make sure that the financials and the balance sheet.
Totally.
Like it's a lot to ask, right?
It is. I mean, and that's where I guess, you know, you're in a position now where you're hiring different people for those different roles. So it's almost realizing, where am I weak in my business and how can I fill that? It's a hard one, I think, especially when you're a freelancer, because I would probably classify myself as in that space. You know, your income is sometimes like this. And so hiring a consistent person can be challenging with that, especially with, but you know, there's always contractors out there wanting to do admin for you. And all those boring stuff.
There's definitely an emerging set of options. Like there's definitely way more variety now. Like it used to be that you had to have like a full-time employee or a part-time employee, whereas now like there's remote workers, there's AI automation, there's just people that want to be doing that thing that you hate, which is really cool.
Even virtual assistants who probably have 10 clients on board and they do 5 hours a week for you and they're happy with that.
100%.
But it's probably just finding the right one.
That's exactly it. It's alignment, isn't it?
Yeah.
So finding the right provider, it's just alignment. All these words. This could be a mural in itself, right?
Podcast do a live
mural
illustration of it.
Wow, that'd be cool. That'd be so good. So for people that are in corporates and wanting massive murals, that's one audience, one persona.
Yeah.
The other would be the other end of the spectrum, right? The ones that are looking for a stocking stuffer.
Yeah, true.
And they're in Valentine's.
Yep.
That's one.
Yeah, either that or even, my custom works, which I sort of launch a limited amount of spots twice a year. The way I do it.
How exciting.
Both to control demand, because I've been in spaces where I've had a lot of demand and you feel like you're on the hamster wheel. So it's great for me, but it also means that so I have usually about 12 spots open each time and they open in October. So if you're wanting a custom work that tells your life story or family story, that.
When will be the next one after October? Just in case.
Probably like March.
Is that generally how it works? The March and October-ish?
That's what I'm pivoting to. Okay. Yeah, I usually do 3. I've done 3 in the past. But what I've found this year is that the middle of the year is an interesting time for people. Winter. People, So I'm just trying to, focus on just the 2. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's a great one for me because I'm a true believer in driving demand and hype and making something feel like exclusive and exciting. And I love the emails I get when people are on their computer, like refreshing it like I'm a Taylor Swift concert. Like honestly, it's pretty cool because I'll set it live and then 2 seconds later I'll have someone buy and they're like, I felt like I just got in Glastonbury. I can't believe I got in. And it's just this really cool. I mean, it's so humbling for me, but it's also a really cool experience for them because they're like, okay, it's part of this experience. And that's what I love creating is it's like, you're not getting just a piece of art you can hang on your wall. You're experiencing both securing the artwork, the thrill of that. You write your whole life story out, which is beautifully cathartic. So many people are like bawling while they're writing their story out. They send their story to me. I fire back some more questions. They're like, wow, I've never thought of these things in my life before. They see the artwork, again, bawling, because it's a huge emotional exchange of never seeing everything you've achieved in life in front of you. And obviously the unveiling of that as well. And then, your friends and family engaging with it's really beautiful too, because they get to see, it's both a time capsule, but also like a crazy thing to see all of your life in one space.
No doubt. Yeah. So answer this or don't answer it, but how like with current pricing roughly or not roughly, like how does the pricing side work?
Yeah, so for custom work, is that what you mean? Yeah. So I have a standard sizing range that people can look at and just gauge, okay, that's roughly how much it will cost.
Yeah.
But anyone can do any size. So
gotcha.
If you message me and was like, I have this budget, okay, we look at that. Or if you wanted a really long, thin piece, we could look at that. But for example, the most common size people get is A3. And an A3 framed work is about 2,100 off the top of my head.
give or take.
Ish.
As of recording.
Yeah. So, I try and obviously adjust those prices when demand and over time.
Yes.
That's a whole nother story. I started very low pricing and I've gotten to a point of feeling really good about it now. But the moral of that long story is essentially if you start pricing too low, it takes you so much longer to get to a point where you're actually pricing yourself how you should, because you can't just quad your prices straight away, you have to incrementally do it. Otherwise you will lose a customer base. And so that was another interesting change. But I'm glad we're on the other end of it and I'm not working for $10 an hour like I was back in the beginning.
I mean, you could also argue that you could just 4x, right? Or 10x and be like, look, this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I mean, when I got to a point where I was pretty certain I had a good base of customer interest. So that I would say that's like 2-3 years into full time, I did double the price, and then I had to double it again because the demand was still there. And it was a really interesting test of going, okay, well, if my demand is that I'm selling out in 3 minutes, which is bonkers, that I am too cheap. And you could you could be like, oh, well, maybe you just got a really great product. Yeah, okay. But if you're selling out in 3 minutes,
exactly,
that's too cheap.
Yeah.
And so I doubled then, and then it sold out, I think, in maybe a few hours. Then I doubled again. And then now it takes like a day to 2 days to a week. And that's good. Like, that's still amazing for an artist. Yeah. And I feel very humbled again that happens, but it's an interesting measure.
Oh, it's super interesting. Like, pricing psychology and, just the way you position it. It's very interesting.
Even pricing certain sizes. So it's not quite like, okay, well, you get an A4 and then you double that price and that's A3.
Gotcha.
Like, okay, I want people to buy A2. So how am I positioning the A3 price close enough to the A2 price?
Yes.
Sorry, I know that's
No. You're absolutely right. It's like if you've got 3 different tiers and you want to angle people toward the middle one, the lower one. Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. I think Daniel Priestley's really good. I think Hormozi's really good. I think there's some really good practical information out there.
I just heard that. Tear off.
It's okay.
Oh, shall I put it back in there?
No, it's all good. It's been there most of the time.
happened pretty much in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
No, you're fine.
No.
You should let me know.
No, it's all
That's all good.
It's no problem. One of those cameras beeps too. I don't know if that turned off or.
I've been remote monitoring this.
Oh, sweet. Cool. Oh, that's good.
Is it all right view-wise? It doesn't matter? Yeah.
I don't mind. I think it looks fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it looks like from the camera's point of view. I'm sure it's fine.
It'll be all good.
Yeah.
Unless it's really not good, but it'll be good.
You can make a judgment later.
So good.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's a cool journey.
It is a fun journey.
Yeah.
I think this whole prediction thing is fun to me, all right?
Yeah.
Like 12 months, so much can happen.
So much can happen.
Both like you can manifest things, you can predict things, you can, work towards goals, but then also like the wild card, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow?
Totally. And who knows who you're going to like network with and see, and someone passed you on to another. Like, I'm trying to see this course as, I don't love public speaking, but I'm very passionate about teaching about business and creative fields. So I'm kind of I have to be open to the fact that if I'm going to be speaking to people in larger crowds about this stuff. So who knows, in 12 months, maybe that'll be part of that journey of being more of keynote speaking on, how to be successful artists in business. Who knows?
I love that. Yeah. And there's heaps of options out there and progressions available, right? Like you don't have to go straight to like stadiums.
Oh.
Right? Or could go straight to stadiums.
Oh my gosh, no.
But you can
definitely.
like even the events we've been doing, it's been really interesting, involving different people that may have done some speaking, may not have, but it's a platform and an audience that it sort of serves as a win-win, right? Like the audience, the speaker can provide value and the audience can be there, right? Because the speaker, just because they are like experienced and capable, doesn't mean that they've got experience speaking.
Yeah, that's so true. But we're all human, isn't it? It's funny, like, you can get nervous speaking, but at the end of the day, everyone's in the audience being like, it's nerve-wracking.
They're there for a reason,
I think the more you practice it, obviously, it gets easier. I've done 3 live masterclasses now, and yes, that's on Zoom, so you feel a little bit more in your comfort zone.
A bit more safer.
But it's still you're sweating and you're like talking to this quiet room.
Yes.
But the more I do that, I'm like, okay, I feel more comfortable in doing that kind of thing. And again, it's that whole positioning yourself as a person of influence and a person as an expert in your field. And I think it's funny, again, coming back to that ecosystem, once people see you as an expert in your entrepreneurship field, they want to almost buy your products that are completely separate to what you're speaking about. But it's this kind of psychological thing. It works. They go, oh, wow, okay, I see value in them, so I see value in their products or their service.
Absolutely. Yeah. That event we did earlier this year, called Momentum. So it was an afternoon event. There was 5 speakers and about 100 guests. And so I radically underestimated the pressure and the fact that it would
Maybe
be,
that's a good thing.
well, the speakers did great.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of speaking, but not really. And I probably missed an opportunity, and I learned a lesson that it's a lot different, at least for me, to speak to 100 people versus say 20, 30, 40, which is what we've done historically. Like that's been the biggest event.
Okay. Wow.
So-
Big difference then.
That was quite interesting.
Was it that you found the 100 was potentially less people that were maybe focused on that thing you were talking about? Like the 20 was more concentrated, or was it that it just...
I just freaked out. I just like got up there and I'm like looking around. I'm like, far out. Like I am uncomfortable right now. And it wasn't like a Zoom thing, like where it's
And you really have to perform when there's 100 people there.
that's it. And like because the quality was so high, like the first like the co-host of the event, he did really good, and then the speakers were exceptional. They were very, very, very good. And so I'm just like, holy shit, I've inadequately prepared for this. I should definitely have done a bit more work. Because, you know, like a lot of things, I do wing the podcast and it tends to work well. These smaller events, I guess I've got enough reps doing them that's fine. But yeah, the 100 people, that was...
Well, next time
exactly.
You'll be so ready. And that's the funny thing is like, you know, we can be quite hard on ourselves. I'm the first to say so, but like all of it is just next time you'll be awesome.
Totally.
The next time you'll be way better.
Totally.
And
And maybe it's like the maybe good, maybe bad thing, right?
Yeah.
Like if it had have gone well, potentially wouldn't have learned, right? Like wouldn't have learned the value of preparing and that it's an opportunity. So
yeah, 100%.
yeah. there
Wow,
you go.
crazy.
So the best way for people to find you is website, social media.
Yeah, both of those things.
Yeah.
I'm on LinkedIn if that's your jam.
Okay,
But
cool. Yeah, if you're a corporate.
trying to get more in that avenue and
Yeah.
things like that. But yeah, social media, Instagram, and
If you're a corporate
website.
procurement manager or facilities manager or maybe
Yeah.
marketing manager,
Yeah.
CEO,
digital marketing, anyone
buys these, who commissions the work, just out of curiosity.
Usually I find it's someone that's probably assistant's the wrong word, but like assisting with coordinating either big events or organizing big gifts, like corporate gift. Maybe the person that would organize your workplace corporate gift might be that person, and they often bring me to the CEO or present me.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is the CEO that might have heard my stuff, which is really cool. Yeah, it's often kind of the people that are in the weeds of social media often are the ones that find me and they bring me higher up and present
really
me to
cool.
the board.
That's really cool, right? Because in a normal sales dynamic, a lot of people could overlook those people.
Oh, that's so fundamental. And more, again, I know we're kind of at the end, but I'm actually doing more casual approaches to pitching to those people because especially in New Zealand, it's working so well. I'm getting like 90% response rate versus say a professional email.
Yes.
Because they get so many of those. And actually, if I'm just like, hey, here I am, I've got great social proof, here's my website. If there's something that aligns, let me know. No pressure.
Cool.
Love what you do.
Love it.
Blah, 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 blah. And then it kind of flows a bit better and it feels less intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but those people are key and they often sing your praises more. I'm finding.
That's cool. That's really cool. I think and sales is just a whole other topic in itself, but I find if you can be yourself, it just goes a lot better, right? Rather than going with someone else's.
And no one wants to feel pressure when they're hiring someone. So that's the other thing is like actually realizing there is a time to be professional, 100%. And that's why having things in your arsenal ready to go for that board, you know, okay, approach the people that are the workman's people.
Yes.
I would consider myself that too. Approach those people, but have everything you need in your arsenal ready to go for that board because that will come.
Exactly.
And so it's just being prepared, really.
Being ready to talk ROI.
100%.
Being able to talk what it's going to do and the value proposition. Yeah.
Yeah. Wear your jeans and t-shirt to that first meeting and then wear your suit. The proper one.
Awesome.
I don't know if it's your jam, but
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much.
No worries. Thanks.
Appreciate
it's been
you
awesome.
being part of the podcast.
It's been fun.
So good.
Thanks for having me.
Let's see what you're up to in a year or so.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ellie.